You see, life isn't about what happens to you. It's about what happens in you when life happens to you. Most people let circumstances command their emotions, but champions train their minds to rule their reactions. Because peace is not found in the absence of storms. Peace is the ability to stand still in the storm. You can't stop the winds from blowing, but you can anchor your soul so deeply that no gust of chaos can move you. Here's the truth. The world rewards calm minds. When everyone else is panicking, the person who stays centered, that's the one who sees opportunity where others only see obstacles. That's the one who profits emotionally, spiritually, and financially. See, calmness is not weakness, it's control. It's mastery. It's power in stillness. When you can remain unshaken in moments of uncertainty, you rise above those who are ruled by fear, frustration, and doubt. The greatest battles are not fought in the marketplace. They're fought in the mind. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your business, your dreams, or your relationships if he can first destroy your peace. Because when you lose your peace, you lose your presence. And when you lose your presence, you lose your power. That's why you must train your mind like a soldier trains for war, with discipline, repetition, and strategy. You can't wait until chaos shows up to decide to be calm. You have to decide now. You have to build that mindset in advance. You see, the true measure of greatness is not found in how smoothly life goes, but in how powerfully you respond when it doesn't. The difference between those who crumble under pressure and those who conquer, it isn't the size of their struggle. It's the strength of their response. Because your reaction is greater than your situation. You can't always choose what life throws at you, but you can choose the meaning you attach to it. That meaning determines your motion, your mindset, and ultimately your momentum. Every time you face a challenge, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to reaction, the other to response. One leads to chaos, the other to control. The question is, which will you choose? The power of your reaction determines the power of your results. When you allow emotions to take the driver's seat, you end up swerving off the road of purpose. But when you respond with principle, you steer your destiny with precision. Most people spend their lives trying to control circumstances, but the ones who truly win understand that life is not about control. It's about command. You command your mind, you command your focus, you command your peace. And when you do that, life begins to obey your inner authority. Because calmness is not a personality trait, it's a trained power. You must decide in advance that no event, no comment, no delay, and no disappointment will make you abandon your inner peace. That's emotional maturity. That's mental mastery. That's how leaders are made. Here's what you must understand. Every situation is a mirror reflecting the strength of your inner discipline. When something unexpected happens, someone disrespects you, a deal falls through, a plan crumbles. That's not the end of the story. That's the beginning of your training. Life is testing to see if you're ready for the next level. The next level of blessing always requires the next level of composure. If you can't stay calm when things fall apart, how can you be trusted to lead when things come together? The way you react under pressure determines what kind of future you can handle. Your response reveals your readiness. You've got to stop letting temporary frustration destroy permanent opportunity. When emotions rise, intelligence falls. The moment you lose your cool, you lose your clarity. And when you lose your clarity, you start making decisions from chaos instead of from calling. Don't let a single moment of anger cost you a lifetime of favor. When you choose calmness over reaction, You elevate yourself above the problem. You stop being a participant in chaos and start being the authority in order. That's when doors open. That's when wisdom flows. That's when people look at you and say, how does he keep it together when everything's falling apart? And the answer is simple. You trained your mind to respond from purpose, not panic. See, life doesn't break you, your reactions do. Pressure doesn't destroy potential, it reveals discipline. You can't stop waves from coming, but you can learn how to surf. The calm mind rides the wave, the reactive mind drowns beneath it. When you train your emotions to bow to your mission, you move from being reactive to being proactive. And that shift changes everything. Because when you control your inner world, your outer world must eventually submit. Every time life squeezes you, it's asking one question: what's inside you? Is it fear, frustration, or faith? If you want to lead, influence, or create real wealth, emotional, spiritual, or financial, you must first master your reactions. The greatest warriors are not those who never face battle. They're the ones who keep their composure in the heat of it. They understand that peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of power. When you operate from peace, you make decisions rooted in wisdom, not worry. You move with intention instead of impulse. You attract solutions instead of amplifying struggles. So the next time life hits you with something unexpected, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself that your reaction is your responsibility. Don't give anyone or anything permission to control your state of mind. Your peace is too valuable to rent out to petty problems. Stand tall, think clear, and speak powerfully. Because when you stay calm in chaos, you become the calm in chaos. You set the tone, you shift the energy, and you prove to life itself that you can't be broken by what you've already mastered within. The situation might be big, but your response, that's where the real power lies. Calmness is not weakness, it's wealth in motion. It's the invisible force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the broke from the abundant, and the anxious from the anointed. The calm mind is the wealthy mind because calmness is the currency of power. When the noise of the world rises, when fear grips people's hearts, when emotions run wild, the one who remains still, focused, centered, and unshaken is the one who holds all the leverage. Calmness isn't about being passive. It's about being powerful enough not to be moved by temporary chaos. It's the art of mastering the moment before the moment masters you. When everyone else reacts emotionally, the calm individual responds strategically. And in that moment, they win. The person who stays calm in pressure makes better decisions, sees opportunities others miss, and commands the respect of those who panic. Calmness creates clarity, and clarity births creativity. That's where solutions are born. That's where innovation begins. You can't think straight in the storm if your mind is stormy. You have to learn to quiet the noise within before you can conquer the noise around you. Because if your emotions are louder than your wisdom, you'll always misinterpret what's happening and miss what's possible. Think about it. Every time you lose your temper, you lose a piece of your influence. Every time you let frustration lead, you let wisdom leave. Calmness is your ability to keep control when everything around you is trying to control you. It's your anchor in a world that thrives on distraction, drama, and disruption. The person who keeps their peace keeps their power because peace is presence and presence is influence. People trust leaders who stay steady. They follow those who stay grounded. When everyone else is shaking, the calm person becomes the standard others measure themselves against. That's authority born from composure. We live in a world addicted to urgency, Everyone wants to react, respond, prove, and defend. But calmness is the ultimate form of confidence. You don't need to prove who you are when you know who you are. You don't have to fight for your value when you walk in your value. That stillness, that inner strength, communicates something louder than words ever could. Calmness says, I'm not moved by this because I've mastered myself. That level of emotional mastery doesn't just make you powerful. It makes you magnetic. Opportunities, people, and success are drawn to peace. Chaos repels what calmness attracts. When you cultivate calmness, you're not just managing emotions, you're multiplying possibilities. Calmness expands your vision. It gives you space to think, to feel, to discern. And when you can think clearly under pressure, you make decisions that position you for promotion instead of destruction. Most people forfeit their future because they make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Calmness stops you from doing that. It teaches you to pause before you pounce, to reflect before you react, to think before you speak. And that single pause can protect your destiny. The truth is, calmness is expensive. It costs discipline. It costs humility. It costs practice. But once you pay that price, you gain access to a peace that the world can't buy and fear can't break. When you build calmness within you, you're creating a fortress that nothing external can penetrate. The market can crash. People can criticize. Plans can fail. But you remain unshaken because your power isn't rooted in what's happening. It's rooted in what you've built inside. That's true wealth. That's the kind of strength that can't be taken, only demonstrated. The calm mind doesn't chase results. It attracts them because power isn't in the rush. It's in the rhythm. The rhythm of a calm, confident, consistent mindset that refuses to be disturbed by life's noise. While others spend their energy reacting to problems, you conserve yours to create solutions. While they drain themselves fighting for control, you stand still and operate from control. That's the energy that builds empires, that leads nations, that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. So the next time the world around you starts to shake, remember this: the calmest person in the room is always the most powerful one. When you remain calm, you rise above confusion. You see beyond emotion. You act from wisdom. That's where your authority lies, your peace reigns, and your destiny expands. Calmness isn't about doing less. It's about being more. More grounded, more centered, more in command. Because in the end, the person who can stay calm no matter what happens will always be the one who controls what happens next. Discipline is the bridge between chaos and control, between reaction and response, between potential and power. You cannot expect a calm mind in the middle of life's storms if you haven't trained it during the stillness of peace. Most people wait for the crisis to show up before they decide to grow up. But champions, leaders, and difference makers understand this truth. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. If you want to remain calm under pressure, you must discipline your thoughts before life tests you. You can't wait until the fire starts building fireproof faith. You've got to construct that mindset now before the storm comes knocking on your door. The battlefield of success is not the marketplace, not the competition, not the economy. It's the mind. Every thought is either a soldier for your peace or a saboteur of your progress. That's why mental discipline isn't optional, it's essential. You've got to train your thoughts with the same intensity an athlete trains their body. Feed your mind with focus, not fear. Practice gratitude until it becomes your default setting. Speak words of power until doubt no longer recognizes your voice. Because if you don't discipline your thinking will discipline you. And trust me, an undisciplined mind will always find a reason to panic, complain, or quit when life applies pressure. Training your mind means building routines that protect your peace and strengthen your spirit. You can't wake up and scroll through chaos and expect calmness to show up in your day. You have to be intentional. You must command your mornings before the world demands your attention. You must fill your mind with words that affirm your identity and vision before negativity has a chance to infiltrate your emotions. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. Every time you resist distraction, every time you silence negativity, every time you replace reaction with reflection, you're building emotional muscle. And when the test comes, and it will come, that mental muscle becomes your greatest advantage. Here's the secret. Calmness is not a feeling, it's a habit. And like all habits, it's created through repetition. You can't expect peace to appear magically when you've spent months rehearsing anxiety. You've got to reprogram your responses through consistency. That means when people provoke you, you practice patience. When things go wrong, you choose perspective. When fear whispers, you answer with faith. That's how you train your mind to be calm on command. It's not about pretending you're not affected. It's about proving that you're not controlled. The disciplined mind doesn't deny emotion, it directs it. It takes energy that could have been wasted on worry and channels it into wisdom. Every great leader, every world changer, every person of power understands this principle. Mastery requires mental order. You cannot lead others until you've learned to lead yourself. The undisciplined mind is easily distracted, easily offended, and easily defeated. But the trained mind moves differently. It observes before it reacts. It processes before it speaks. It decides based on purpose, not pressure. And because of that, it holds the power to shift outcomes. You want to know why calm people win? Because they think clearly while others are thinking emotionally. They see opportunity where others see opposition. They operate from a higher frequency because their discipline keeps them elevated. The truth is, discipline feels hard in the moment, but it pays dividends in peace. When you train your thoughts daily through reading, prayer, meditation, focus, you're not just building a calm mind, you're building an unshakable identity. You're telling life, no matter what comes, I'm ready. You're creating an inner foundation so solid that no external event can break it. And when everyone else is drowning in confusion, you'll be standing on clarity. Because your peace is not accidental, it's intentional. It's practiced, it's earned. So discipline your mind like a soldier disciplines his body. Prepare before the pressure, build before the battle. Strengthen your thoughts until staying calm becomes your instinct, not your effort. Because once your mind is trained, your emotions obey. Once your emotions are aligned, your power multiplies. And when your power multiplies, life bends in your favor. Discipline doesn't just make you calm, it makes you unstoppable. What you focus on expands, and what you magnify in your mind multiplies in your life. If you choose to fix your attention on problems, your fears grow larger. If you fix your focus on promises, your faith grows stronger. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your emotions. And your emotions determine your actions. That's why the most powerful discipline you can master is the discipline of focus. You cannot maintain peace if your mind is constantly parked in the land of worry. You cannot access clarity if your thoughts are chained to confusion. The battlefield is not outside of you, it's within you. And the victory begins when you train your eyes to see possibility, even in the middle of impossibility. When you focus on problems, your perspective narrows. You become so consumed by what's going wrong that you lose sight of what could go right. But when you shift your focus toward the promise, your perspective widens, your creativity awakens, and your confidence rises. Every problem carries a seed of purpose hidden inside it, but you can't see it through the fog of frustration. Calmness doesn't come from ignoring problems. It comes from focusing on the promise that there's always a way through them. The person who keeps their eyes on the promise walks in peace, while the one who fixates on the problem walks in panic. Your focus is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you hold it over becomes bigger in your reality. Focus on fear, and fear will dominate you. Focus on faith, and faith will guide you. Focus on defeat, and you'll feel powerless. Focus on growth, and you'll find strength you didn't know you had. The mind follows what it feeds on. That's why you must feed it with direction, not distraction. The world is designed to pull your focus into chaos, but destiny is discovered by those who protect their attention like it's treasure. Because it is. Your attention is the steering wheel of your life, and wherever you turn it, your results follow. When life throws a storm your way, don't stare at the waves. Look at the horizon. The storm is temporary, but the destination is eternal. If you spend your energy reacting to the thunder, you'll never have the clarity to steer the ship. Calmness is born when you fix your focus on the outcome, not the obstacles. Problems test your patience, but promises build your persistence. And persistence fueled by focus always wins. The key is to remember that what you dwell on determines what you draw in. Keep your mind aligned with the vision, and the vision will eventually become visible. Most people lose peace because they confuse awareness with obsession. They think being aware of problems means they have to be consumed by them. Awareness is wisdom, but obsession is bondage. A calm mind doesn't deny challenges. It simply refuses to let them dominate its inner world. When you focus on the promise, you remind yourself that every challenge carries purpose, every delay hides direction, and every setback is a setup for growth. You begin to move with confidence instead of anxiety, with direction instead of distraction. Focus is power, and power must be protected. Every time you choose to focus on the promise instead of the problem, you elevate your vibration and shift your reality. You start speaking solutions instead of repeating complaints. You start attracting possibilities instead of amplifying pain. Focus doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your atmosphere. People can feel the calmness radiating from someone who refuses to be shaken by circumstances. That energy is influence. That steadiness is strength. And here's the truth: the promise you focus on becomes the fuel for your peace. When you believe that everything happening is working for your good, you stop seeing problems as punishment and start seeing them as preparation. You realize that storms aren't sent to sink you. They're sent to strengthen you. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That single shift in focus transforms anxiety into authority. It turns stress into strategy. So when life presents pressure, don't let your attention be hijacked by fear. Anchor your focus on faith, because whatever you stare at, you steer toward. The promise will always outlast the problem if you keep your mind fixed on it. Problems may shake your plans, but they can't shake your purpose. When you train your mind to focus forward instead of backward, you begin to experience the peace, power, and productivity that belong to those who know the secret: your focus is your future. Peace is not a weakness, it's a weapon. It's not the absence of struggle, it's the presence of strength. When you learn to cultivate peace in a world addicted to chaos, you gain a competitive advantage that most people never discover. In a culture where everyone is reacting, rushing, and running from one crisis to the next, the person who stays calm stands out. The one who refuses to be shaken becomes the one others lean on. Peace is your edge. It's the quiet confidence that tells the world, I'm in control because I'm not controlled. When everyone else is moved by pressure, your peace positions you for power. You see, peace is not passive. It's persuasive. People are drawn to those who radiate calmness because calmness communicates confidence. You don't have to shout to prove authority when your peace speaks louder than noise. It's the energy of assurance that commands attention without demanding it. The calm person walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere not by force, but by frequency. That stillness, that composure sends a silent message. I've mastered myself, and that's why I can master any situation. Peace isn't the reward, it's the requirement for influence. Because when you operate from peace, you make decisions rooted in wisdom, not worry. You move strategically instead of emotionally. You respond from purpose instead of panic. Most people chase peace like it's something outside of them, but peace isn't something you find, it's something you build. It's an internal state created through self-control, faith, and focus. You can't borrow peace, you must produce it. The world may shake, markets may fall, relationships may shift, but if you've built peace within you, none of it can steal your center. That's what makes peace a true competitive advantage. It doesn't depend on conditions, it's born from conviction. The calmest person in the storm isn't the one who's blind to it. They're the one who trusts the outcome beyond it. When you carry peace, you carry presence. And presence is power. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how your energy made them feel. A peaceful presence brings clarity to confusion and hope to hesitation. When others panic, your calmness becomes their anchor. Leaders who lead with peace don't need to push, they pull. They don't control people, they inspire them, because peace is influence in its purest form. It's silent, but it's strong. It's unseen, but it's undeniable. And when you walk in peace, you automatically rise in authority. Peace gives you the ability to see clearly when others can't. It allows you to hear the whispers of wisdom while others are distracted by the noise of fear. That's why opportunities often appear to the calm, because the calm can see what chaos hides. When you're calm, you create space for strategy, and strategy always leads to success. You move slower, but you move smarter. You react less, but you achieve more. The world mistakes speed for progress, but peace gives you precision. You don't waste energy proving, pleasing, or panicking. You conserve it for producing. And in that stillness, you gain insight that others miss in their hurry. The truth is, peace is power in disguise. The loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, it's the one who doesn't need to speak to be heard. Peace communicates mastery. It shows you trust yourself enough not to be rushed, not to be rattled, not to be reactive. When you have peace, you make better decisions, you attract better energy, and you experience better outcomes. Because peace aligns you with purpose, and purpose produces prosperity. That's why the calm mind often leads the chaotic crowd. When everyone else is competing, the peaceful person is creating. When others are overwhelmed, they're observing. When others are chasing, they're choosing. That's the advantage of inner calm. It allows you to move with confidence while others move with confusion. You become a thermostat instead of a thermometer. You don't measure the temperature of the room, you set it. Peace makes you the standard, not the statistic. It separates those who react from those who reign. So guard your peace like it's the most valuable asset you own. Because it is. It's not just emotional stability, it's spiritual strategy. It's the secret to clarity, creativity, and control in every area of life. When you choose peace over panic, you choose progress over pressure. The world might be noisy, but you can move silently and still dominate. Because true power doesn't shout, it flows. And when your peace becomes unshakable, your success becomes unstoppable. And as I close, remember this: storms don't break strong trees. They reveal them. Every test, every trial, every unexpected twist is just another opportunity to demonstrate your strength, your faith, and your mastery. So the next time chaos knocks, don't panic, smile. Because you've trained for this, you've built for this. You were born to rise above it. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay powerful. Because when your mind is unshaken, your destiny is unstoppable.